It's unbelievable some of the videos that I have to do to show and prove certain things in scripture. If our people was to come back and to see exactly what's going on, they would be beside themselves, not looking and not believing and hearing what they have seen. But here it is. I have to do a video about there is no spiritual. And, we understand that this teaching, it was out there long before we was born. While we heard this when we were young, and it stuck. It stayed with us, although there is no scripture to prove any of it. All right, here's a picture showing here. It's not accurate once again, but it's showing the first heaven and it's showing the second. This is it's nowhere near the size. And then the third. It's just showing you a clip or a portion of piece showing the three. And once again, if this is the case, and you have Malaks here waiting for judgment day, and you have the third, the most up here with the Most High, where's the spirit? Where's the spirit world? And we understand scripture says man go back into the ground to wait for the judgment. So, excuse me, as I said, one person come to the channel saying I'm mixing spiritual with the natural. And I'm like, here goes another one. Here goes another one. Here goes another. They continue. These people continue to come. And so I have to do something like this, and it's just unbelievable. So where did this stuff come from? Where did this come from? That's the question. Now, when I show these people, they're going to do one or two things. They're not going to believe what I showed them, or they're going to make up in their mind that that's just not true. That's not where it came from at all. Let's see it. Spirit world. Spirit world. Look it up. Spiritualism. The spirit world, according to spiritualism, is the world of realm inhabited by spirits. So this is what they are. This is where they get spirit world. Both good or evil of various spiritual manifestations. So they believe that this is a world that's different or outside of our world, and it's something spiritual. So this is where you get spiritualism. And we know who came up with spiritualism. Let's keep going. It says, whereas religion regards an inner life. We know it came, of course, they had to mention religion. The spirit world is regarded as an external environment for spirits, although independent from the natural world. See, there's supposed to be a difference between the spirit world and the natural world. Both the spirit world and the natural world are in constant interactions through mediumship. All right, so we understand these people have no connection to the Most High. This is your new age bullcrap here. And this is where the spiritual world comes from. And there is nowhere in the scripture. We can see the history, how people wrote about the spirit world. You had spiritualists, people that believe in this mess. Once again, there is no scripture to back this up. And we cannot believe some new age people that comes up, whatever they come up with, oh, we believe it because they came up with it. No, we believe the scripture. And the scripture does not mention no spirit world. It's no such thing as a spirit world. He created 3 heavens. He created the heaven and the earth. The waters were separated. The waters went up. You saw the great hanging sea in Louis. And then above it was another heaven that was brighter, more brilliant than the first one. The first one, of course, is dull looking. It's not as brilliant and bright because of the iniquities of man. And then the most splendid, the most brightest, the heaven of heavens, where the Most High is. And of course, this is the third. And there is none above the Most High. So where did they get this in the Bible? We know where they got it from. Ephesians 6, 12 and 13. This is what the churches teach. This is a main Christian teaching. All of the Christian evangelicals, they believe this. And sad to say this, we have a large portion of people that call themselves Hebrew Israelites that believe this. Once again, we're not Hebrew Israelites. Bani Yasharal, we're the sons of Yasharal. So, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. They even have the nerve to continually to quote this. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. He's saying we don't fight against flesh and blood, but we read all through the scriptures where the great men fought physical. They fought against flesh and blood. They killed people commanded by the Most High. So the Most High command us to kill, and Paul say, don't kill. He said we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers. Here we go. And this is where they get the spirit thing and the spiritual. Against the rulers of the darkness of this world. So he's saying they're rulers in the darkness of this world. Darkness ruling over the world. Against spiritual wickedness in high places. We understand this is a lie. And that's why these teachers, these Christian teachers are saying, you know, why we should engage in spiritual warfare in the second heaven, or why we shouldn't engage in spiritual warfare. You have Christians in churches praying against the Malaks in the second Shamayim. That's crazy. They are praying against them. And you know what? Actually, those Malaks will be against them because they have single-handedly did away with his word. So they will be against them automatically. And that's why they are praying against those that's in the second heaven. This stuff is deep. And they think they're praying against wicked Malaks because of Ephesians 6 and 12. If you believe Ephesians 6 and 12, you believe the evil ones is up in the second Shemayim. And that's not what the scripture is saying. The righteous are up in the second. They have control over it, waiting for the day of judgment. So Paul is saying here, against spiritual wickedness in high places, up high, second heaven. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, stand. So I told you before, Paul was the one to make sure he did not command people to keep the Most High's commandments. He didn't intend for you to keep his commandments. He didn't want you and I to keep his commandments. The righteous understand this. That's why he told us, when another speak, you will not listen. But we will listen to the voice of the Most High, and his voice only, through the mouth of the prophets. Where in scripture did Paul say he was a prophet? We understand he was not a prophet. So we have people talking spiritual warfare, spiritual food, spiritual this, spiritual that, everything spiritualized. And all of this spiritual stuff I showed, this spiritual talk came from Paul. The Most High never talked spiritual. But we do have I showed this before, we do have an inkling in Hosea 9 and 7 that something's wrong with this spiritual man. Hosea 9 and 7. The days of punishment have come. The days of recompense have come. Yasharal knows. Yasharal, true Yasharal, that's connected with the Most High, that truly understand what's going on. Yasharal, that Most High open up the eyes and allow us to see what the scripture is saying. Allow us to understand righteousness from unrighteousness. Allow us to see the difference between the clean and the unclean. And we stick to the clean and we separate from the unclean. Meaning coming out of the lands within the borders, we separate it from the unclean. This is the prophet is a fool. We know this. We know anyone calling themselves a prophet today is a fool. Why? The prophets have already spoken. They've spoken everything. Yahushua said, don't you know the prophets was cut off with the head of John the Baptist? Prophecy was cut off with the head of John the Baptist. Why? Because the prophets had foretold everything. Everything we needed to know. Everything the Most High wanted man to know. He spoke it through the prophets. So anyone calling himself a prophet is a fool. And you're going to, we see in the scripture, in the kingdom, anyone calling themselves a prophet, any child called himself the parents have to kill this person. There will be no prophets. It says the spiritual man is insane. So we understand Paul is that spiritual man. Anyone with all these spiritual talk, spiritual this, spiritual that, the spiritual man is insane. This is the only time I find this word spiritual in the prophets. And the Most High has given us they translated this word spiritual. And the Most High giving us an inkling what's going on here. Watch out for these people that's so spiritual. Because of the greatness of your iniquity and great enmity. You see what he's saying here? See, we understand scripture now. Because of the greatness of your iniquity, you're not listening to the prophets. You're not listening to him when he commands you something. And it caused great enmity. That means the Most High becomes your enemy. You become his enemy and he will become your enemy. You do not, I've said it before, you do not want to become the enemy of the Most High. You will be on the wrong side. This message is very simple to understand. I need someone to tell me. All right, simple. You believe in spiritual. Show me the spirit world in the scriptures. Very simple. Very simple. All you have to do, I showed you the physical. Show me the spiritual. Water is physical. When he separated the waters, that was physical. Show me the spiritual. Leave the scripture. I don't want to hear opinions. Please. When I make this statement, I don't want to hear opinions. People still come with their opinions. If you don't have scripture, I just will remove your opinion. It's going to be something foolish. Don't make yourself look like a fool. Bring out the word of the Most High. Your opinion means nothing to me. I don't live according to man's opinion. I don't care if your opinion sounds great. We live according to every word that comes from the mouth of the Father. It should be simple and easy to understand. But here we have people looking for us to trust their opinion. Trust what they are saying. You see, I don't want you to trust what I'm saying. That's why I had to bring this out with scripture to show. So please, I'm asking, put in the comment section the scripture that talks about the spirit world. And if you can't do this, then you must, from this day forward, clear that mess out of your mind. Your mind has been polluted. You have something in your mind that did not come from the mouth of the Father. And once you get this out of your mind, understand you become purer. Understand you become closer to the Most High. And this is what he wants. What did the scripture say? We perish for the lack of knowledge. See, our lack of knowledge caused us to die. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's why we need to know his word. Shalom.